Is it maybe the...
Welcome. My name is Liz Fryery, and this is Mark Bixby, and we are Santa Fe Prep's Dean of Students. And we are so thrilled to be back at Santa Fe Prep's Baccalaureate. A baccalaureate ceremony is traditionally a religious service offered by a school to celebrate the graduating class and their family and friends. It is believed that the origins of baccalaureate date back to the 15th century, when Oxford University began to send their graduates off with very long religious sermons. In fact, the word baccalaureate comes from baccalaureus, or bachelors. Baccalaureates often include an element of gratitude as well, a time where graduates express their thanks to the school from which they will soon depart. When the baccalaureate tradition came to America, the religious aspects of the ceremony shifted to a ceremony before graduation. I am sure many in the audience have experienced baccalaureate as I did in high school and college, as a solemn service in a church. In fact, my Dean of Students gave the baccalaureate sermon at my high school baccalaureate, and I remember some choice words about the antics of my classmates and me. In coming back to the baccalaureate tradition at Prep after a 2-year hiatus due to COVID, we did some research on why Prep's baccalaureate is so different from the traditional ceremony. We learned that in the late 1960s, Prep seniors asked to be able to speak rather than be spoken to. They chose to speak in creative forms, and thus our beautiful and unique baccalaureate ceremony came to be. Tonight you will experience members of the class of 2022 giving their thanks to this community in their own chosen creative medium.
So Liz did that research because these students, most of them didn't even know what baccalaureate was, and honestly, she and I didn't really know the story behind the Prep tradition, and so 3 weeks ago we had to explain to these guys that they were doing baccalaureate tonight and why. So, thank you for the history lesson, Liz. Most of these students were my history students 2 years ago, and in history class we addressed lots of questions, but two major ones. How did we get here, and where are we going? How did we get here? Well, 2 years ago in August when we got together, we were all in a Zoom classroom, not back on campus yet, and all of us sort of stared surreally at each other, thinking about that. But what was interesting was we shared via Zoom anecdotes about how we connected with family and friends, not just in the US, but across the globe. And interestingly enough, for maybe the first time in my life, and probably the first time in their lives, we were all here together. And it seems like we're still all here together. So where are we going? Well, 3 months ago, while the rest of the school was out doing TAP, this group of seniors came together for the first of what will now be a tradition to spend a day at Prep giving back to the school. So we broke up, the students broke up in teams, they did sheet mulching over at the meme, they planted trees at Sun Mountain Field, they did a complete remodel of the weight room and built a bunch of new equipment. They did trail work on Sally's Hill behind the school, and most touchingly, they wrote personal thank yous and delivered flowers to all of the teacher and staff so that we got back to our offices Tuesday morning, we had gratitude from each of them. So I don't know where we are going, but I think we're going there together. And given the challenges and opportunities in the world today, I think that's really the only way that we're going to do it. So tonight, for the first time in a couple of years, we're all here together, and the seniors together are going to start to lead us on the way. Josh Abeda, why don't you kick us off?
When you first arrive at prep as a 7th grader, you can't help but dream. You look at the numerous banners in the gym and dream of putting a year up there. You look at the school records and think about how maybe one day your name could be up there. You're inspired by the leadership of the upperclassmen. For me, my inspiration was, and still is, my older brother Dylan. However, I couldn't quite figure out what made him such a great leader. I've been a captain since my sophomore year, but it wasn't until senior year when I put it all together. It was right after I anchored the 4x400 at Santa Fe High. I managed to bring us from 3rd place to 1st. To my surprise, after I crossed the finish line, the entire prep track and field team stormed the track to congratulate me. It was then when I realized what made me think of my brother as such a great leader. I've set school records, won state championships, put a year under the cross-country banner, but this race has just as much value. Although this race didn't get me a state medal or school record, it made me realize that just because you have a title calling you a captain doesn't mean you're a leader. You're not a leader because you give orders, have talent, or call the shots. You're a leader because of the impact you have on others. Thank you.
These definitely aren't Josh's sunglasses. Thank you. I'm sure it'll shock everyone that I chose a prosaic reflection over composing a song or poem to summarize my prep experience. Okay, you can laugh now, but make it brief. I'm on a tight schedule here. In a few months, I will be heading to one of the most STEM-focused universities in the world. And as such, I feel so fortunate to have received such a high-caliber liberal arts education in high school. Prep's rigorous writing and humanities courses have allowed me to cultivate a nuanced worldview and eschew the sort of hyper-specialization common in people entering STEM fields. For helping me progress as a writer, a thinker, and a scholar, I would like to highlight a few faculty members. The first being Sam Ritter, who taught me that crafting a tight argument is 90% of the battle when composing a compelling essay. The second being Ambrose Ferber, whose lectures on concision in writing and articulation in speech chiseled both my communication skills and my confidence. And the third being Matt Ibarra, who, besides being the single most helpful person throughout my college application process, taught me how to effectively critique my own writing to make it work for me, my audience, but most importantly, my purpose. Essentially, a prep education has supercharged my ability to engage with the world verbally, both on and off the page. And for that, ladies and gentlemen, I am eternally grateful. All right.
Hello. Is it all sweet? Awesome. Okay. I wanted to play this song because it was the first song I ever learned to play with my mom. Honey, I know I've been away some. You've had to pay some, and I have too. Honey, I know you've been alone some. Why don't you fold some? 'Cause I love you. For one thing I know that when I turn out the lights, visions of you, dear. Dancing night, I've been put down, pushed around, apprehended, led downtown, and I can't help it if I'm out of sight, 'cause I'm restless tonight. I just can't stand being alone. I'm gonna have to change that someday. There's a restless feeling in my bones, and I know that at times it just won't go away. If it's all the same, honey, I won't take the blame, baby. Won't play your game. Temptation wears you thin, honey, I'll just pretend, and I'll leave it up to you. 'Cause I put down, pushed around, apprehended, led downtown, and I can't help it if I'm full of pride, 'cause I'm restless tonight. Thank you.
There's no losing, only learning. Never stop trying. If you fail once, get back up. Try something different. Not every day is going to be easy, but I know each and every one of you will find your way around it. Remember one thing for me. Without commitment, you'll never start. But most importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. Now, one of my favorite quotes from J.R.R. Tolkien, "It is not the strength of the body, but the strength of the spirit."
Come forward. Come in from the summer heat and the flies. Come in from that assault on all senses, that pummeling of rod and cone and drum and cilia. Come in from the great spotlight of the sun, sweeping across the white sands, making everyone, and therefore no one, a star. Come inside and meet the prologue. It is dark inside the prologue, dark and cool and welcoming. Whatever is to come, the prologue welcomes you absolutely, accepts you unconditionally, receives you graciously, providing all that is necessary to endure the rest. The prologue is patient. She is the mother of the story and the governess of the audience. She knows you have to bring them in slow, teach them how to behave. All it takes is a little music, a soft play of lights, a flash of skin, a good, beefy monologue to bring everyone up to speed before expecting them to give a witch's third tit who's king of Scotland. The prologue is where you take your coats off. Relax. Leave your shoes at the door. Invoke the muse. Call down whatever royal flush of gods you want pulling the action between them. O muse, O goddess, speak, sing, weep. Give unto me the song of rage. Hand over the arms and the man double quick. Hit that horn and play me the voice of the many-minded traveler who could not get home. Come in, come in. There is so much to see.
I met the Queen of Words and language alike in an antique corner of Sicilian summer and by a plasma in Ionic Sea. She was dressed in clothes that scholars only guess at from paintings and bits of decay. And if I were to visit the Dallas Zoo again or again and make a guess, some furs and spinnings of animals which have been extinct for longer than I could hope to count on both my fingers and my toes. She turned and faced me with her skin, which was rugged crags and stony cliffs, and spoke with a face more beautiful than man had ever known. Her hair, all at one time, was every drab or perfect shade of brown that a story can describe. She came near me, and she offered an idea or two, just a new place for a word in exchange for an impossible closeness between us. So I tasted her, and she was disgusting. Her breath was worst of all. It was sweet, either on its surface or down in the dark, but mostly it was intentional garbage and absolute heart-hurting grief. Or it just rubbed and crunched like sand and brought no flavor at all. We spoke, equally backward and forward, until the great light and prismatic sea turned ebony and quiet, and the world was a deep and watery violet, the queen of words and language alike. I loved her like an idol, like she was made of gold, even when she was only made of mist or skin and blood. I loved her with words that she made first, and with pictures and hands that she showed me. I loved her with words and lessons, and with first, and with magic later, until the rocks became sand, and the sand became lost and ancient. We told our great story.
The hardest part of any friendship is when it's time to say goodbye. As much as we might like things to stay the same, change is an inevitable part of life. The universe may seem huge, and the rift between friends on opposite sides of the world may seem a great distance. There are many tools available with which we can communicate, but even without these tools, there's a secret that only real friends know, and it is this: all the mountains and valleys in the world cannot separate friends whose hearts are as one. Dear friend, 'tis hard to say farewell, and harder yet it is to tell. In parting words, how strong the tie we sever now in this goodbye. We all shall miss thy gentle grace, thy willing hand and cheerful face. No other friend can fill thy place. Though absent we shall claim thee still. God bless the work that hast begun, and guard thee in the years to come. And when thy heart is weary or alone, come back and rest in this thy home. Thank you.
Well, I hung my head when I heard the sound. I drove straight down burial ground. I saw you there singing out loud. Was the same old song that you used to sing when you made your bed next to me. And I loved you then, still do now. Was a gray blue grave and a short red dress. I knew you well, suits you best. Where have you been for the past 5 years? The last I heard, you took some time. You drove straight down 405, and we both know why you left me here. But oh, how things have changed. Now I act my age, and you were older too. So why not see this through? 'Cause you're fast asleep and you choose to be head in the water. Won't find another like me. And every morning call his name. Think about another, think about another. Just say just say and I had you come for a midnight drink, and you left your things by the kitchen sink, your pocketbook. Can't you stay? And you quit your job that you hate so much, and we both get by, both make love, and you're here tonight anyway. But oh, how things have changed. Now I act my age, and you were older too. So why Cause you're fast asleep and you choose to be head in the water. Won't find another like me. And every morning call his name. Think about another, just say he. Just say he. Just say just say yes.
There's a race of men that don't fit in, a race that can't stay still. So they break the hearts of kith and kin, and they roam the world at will. They range the field and they rove the flood, and they climb the mountain's crest. Theirs is the curse of the gypsy blood, and they don't know how to rest. If they just went straight, they might go far. They're strong and brave and true, but they're always tired of the things that are, and they want the strange and new. They say, could I find my proper groove, what a deep mark I would make. So they chop and change, and each fresh move is only a fresh mistake. And each forgets as he strips and runs with a brilliant, fitful pace. It's the steady, quiet, plodding ones who win the lifelong race. And each forgets that his youth has fled, forgets that his prime is past, till he stands one day with a hope that's dead in the glare of the truth at last. He has failed, he has missed his chance, he has just done things by half. Life's been a jolly good joke on him, and now is the time to laugh. Ha, he is one of the legion lost, he was never meant to win. He's a rolling stone, and it's bred to the bone. He is a man who won't fit in.
This is a thank you to Miss Kay and Liz.
Thank you guys for allowing us to learn in such a welcoming environment and for nurturing all of our creativity.
We love you guys.
A sheaf of sweetgrass.
Bound at the end and divided into thirds is ready to braid.
In braiding sweetgrass so that it is smooth, glossy, and worthy of the gift.
A certain amount of tension is needed.
As any little girl with tight braids will tell you, you have to pull a bit.
Of course you can do it yourself by tying one end to a chair.
Or by holding it in your teeth and braiding backward away from yourself.
But the sweetest way is to have someone else hold the end so that you pull gently against each other.
All while leaning in, head to head, chatting and laughing.
Watching each other's hands, one holding steady, while the other shifts the slim bundles over one another, each in its turn.
Linked by sweetgrass, there is reciprocity between you.
Linked by sweetgrass, the holder as vital as the braider.
The braid becomes finer and thinner as you near the end, until you're braiding individual blades of grass, and then you tie it off.
Will you hold the end of the bundle while I braid?
Hands joined by grass, can we bend our heads together and make a braid to honor the earth?
And then I'll hold it for you.
Well, you braid too.
All right, we chose this song because over the past few years, each and every one of us has created some amazing friendships that are never gonna go away.
You've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. When the road looks rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed, you just remember what your old pal said. Boy, you've got a friend in me. Yeah, you've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. You've got troubles, well, I've got them too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. We stick together and see it through. Yeah, you've got a friend in me. Yeah, you've got a friend in me. Some others might look a little bit smarter than I am, bigger and stronger too. But none of them will ever love you the way I do. It's me and you, boy, and as the years go by, our friendship will never die. You're gonna see it's our destiny. Oh, you've got a friend in me. Yeah, you've got a friend in me.
Forlorn Sims. Stelele. Îmi aduc aminte ca prin vis, de toți anii lungi sau grăbiți ce-au trecut, de toate cărțile pe care le-am citit, de dragoste și de moarte. Îmi aduc aminte mai clar, mai rotund, de sunetul ploii căzând din streșine vara, de nori lungi și părălnici sprijinind cerul, și de toate clipele când pasul tău lângă mine îmi măsoară lunecarea. Îmi aduc aminte de toate, dar nu știu, al cui echipul străin din oglindă, ale cui gândurile care îmi bat în tâmple, ca și cum ar fi doar ale mele. Ceasul și-a frânt cadranul alb și-a rătăcit minutarele. Sub glie, soarele sâșnește ca o inimă, încolțind raze, iar noaptea înflorește sub cântec stins de privighetoare. Oare, tăcut și senin, ne-am putea stinge ca stelele? The stars, they remind me like in a dream, of all the longer hurried years that passed, of all the books I read, of love and death. I remember more clearly, more completely the sound of summer rain falling from the eaves, the lingering and elusive clouds holding up the sky, and all the moments your footsteps echo next to mine, mapping my glissade. I remember everything, but I do not know. Whose unknown features do I see in the mirror? Whose thoughts consume my mind as if they were mine? The clock has shattered its white dial. It has lost its minute hands. Under the earth, the sun beats like a heart, growing rays, and the night blooms under the dead song of a nightingale. Silent and serene, could we disappear like the stars? Thank you.
With my whole heart, thank you, Mom and Dad, for the opportunity to graduate from Santa Fe Prep. Now, I'm not the first Axelrod to graduate from Santa Fe Prep. That belongs to my brother, Tyler Axelrod, the class of 2018. If you knew Tyler, you knew T-Rod. T-Rod was a nickname created and used by my fellow classmates' older siblings such as Dylan Abeta, Sean Coles, and Brandon Durr. When I first came to Santa Fe Prep, the tradition immediately emerged to me. This instantly gave me a sense of belonging in the Santa Fe Prep community. The first and only nickname that I gained at Santa Fe Prep was E-Rod. Though the people in Santa Fe Prep community may have changed from when my brother graduated to today, the tradition remains the same. Thank you Finn Coles, Josh Abeda, the Durr brothers, many other early and late adopters of EROD such as the Browning twins, Aton Moore, Max Hendricks, and Santiago Hughes, and everyone else through my time at Santa Fe Prep. I'll never forget the first day I met Sean and Finn's mom, because the first thing she asked me was along the lines of, "You're EROD, right?" Now, I understand that as I venture out of Santa Fe Prep community, the people around me will change, but I'll always have this sense of belonging, trust, friendship as EROD in the Santa Fe Prep community. Thank you all.
It has been a long trip, said Milo, climbing onto the couch where the princesses sat, but we would have been here much sooner if I hadn't made so many mistakes. I'm afraid it's all my fault. You must never feel badly about making mistakes, explained Reason quietly, as long as you take the trouble to learn from them. For you often learn more by being wrong for the right reasons than you do by being right for the wrong reasons. But there's so much to learn, he said, with a thoughtful frown. Yes, that's true, admitted Rhyme. But it's not just learning things that's important. It's learning what to do with what you learn and learning why you learn things at all that matters. That's just what I mean, explained Milo, as Talk and the exhausted bug drifted quietly off to sleep. Many of the things I'm supposed to know seem so useless that I can't see the purpose in learning them at all. You may not see it now, said the princess of pure reason, looking knowingly at Milo's puzzled face. But whatever we learn has a purpose. And whatever we do affects everything and everyone else, if even in the tiniest way. Why, when a housefly flaps his wings, a breeze goes around the world. When a speck of dust falls to the ground, the entire planet weighs a little more. And when you stamp your foot, the earth moves slightly off its course. Whenever you laugh, gladness spreads like the ripples in a pond. And whenever you're sad, no one anywhere can really be happy. And it's much the same thing with knowledge. For whenever you learn something new, the whole world becomes that much richer. And remember also, added the princess of sweet rhyme, that many places you would like to see are just off the map, and many things you want to know are just out of sight or a little beyond your reach. But someday you'll reach them all, for what you learn today, for no reason at all, will help you discover all the wonderful secrets of tomorrow. Thank you.
First, I'd like to thank my teachers and coaches for their continuous support over these last 6 years.
Thank you to everyone who's been part of my prep experience, good and bad. You've made me the man I am today, and I'm eternally grateful.
Thank you to my family for always supporting me through the highs and lows. Thank you to my friends and classmates for the great memories over 6 years. And thank you to the entire prep community for always supporting me.
Thanks, everyone. And I'd like to give a shout out to all you moms out there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to the moon.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song. my heart with song, and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you.
The garden is gone. 3 old apricot trees bloomed on the length of the garden by the wall. A blue well with names carved into the cement was by the stairs. Pumpkins and squash snaked by the farthest tree, and blackberry bushes scaled the far wall near a statue of Mary. A big trampoline with a hole in the net was near the house, and if you jumped too close, you could hit your head on the gutter where a lone water bottle was forgotten. Tomato plants grew by the windows, shielded by green plastic covers, and nestled by the closest and smallest apricot tree was a spice garden to keep the animals away. Power lines overhead ran through the far apricot tree and crisscrossed over the driveway. A white cinder block swing held up by blue rope swung back and forth on the farthest blooming tree. You might see the 5 of us, my 2 older sisters, my 2 older cousins, and me, the youngest, as we chased each other, climbed trees, or paused to sit on the roof and catch our breath. We watched the wall that had lines of snail mucus on it from the springtime snail races. The stone circles around the trees were out of place from the roly-poly dig we had just had. We made small piles of sticks, mud, and leaves to house the fairies which came to make the apricot blossoms turn into fruit. Our garden was our shield. The garden was where we went to hide from the harsh world where people we loved died and left us behind. But the garden would not last. Aging and moving away came like a whirlwind and landscaped our garden. Gone was the cinder block swing, the small apricot tree, the rows of plants, and the trampoline. Now, I'm on a hunt to find my new garden. Free thought is my garden. I want to get lost in reading. I want to wander in the garden of a subject and discover something that amazes me. Free thought is blissful. Much like my garden, it's a place for me to be free. It's a place for me to relax. It's almost a state of mind. It's the willingness to allow yourself to fall into a subject and feel the excitement about it and the desire to read more and to continue learning about it. It's the feeling that you have when you have no worries left in the world and you cannot think of anything other than where you are in this very moment.
Let us think about adventure. You are walking along Broadway, you like looking into the shop windows, and you are deciding which theater to go to. You're asking yourself, do I want something to make me laugh or something to make me feel sad? Suddenly, a hand is placed on your arm. You turn to look deep into the eyes of a beautiful woman, wonderful in jewels and richly dressed. Quickly, she puts into your hand a piece of hot, very hot bread and butter. She cuts a small piece of cloth from your coat. She speaks one word, and it means nothing to you. Then quickly she runs down a side street, looking back fearfully over her shoulder. That would be pure adventure. Would you accept it? No. Your face would turn red, you would drop the bread and butter, you would walk straight along with one hand over the hole in your coat. This you would do if you are not one of the very few in whom the pure spirit of adventure is not dead. There have never been many true adventurers. You can read stories about men called adventurers, but they were businessmen. There was something they wanted, a lady, or money, or a country, or honor, and so they got it. But a true adventurer is different. He starts without any special purpose. He is ready for anything he may meet. There have been many half-adventurers, and they were great men. History is rich with their stories, but each of them had a special purpose. They were not followers of true adventure. Few of us are ready to accept adventure. We are ready to only do the things we do every day. We wish to do only the things that everyone else does. We move on, and someday we will come to the end of a long, quiet life. Then we will begin to think, then, when it is too late, we are sorry that we have never known true adventure.
When you were little, you would wander around the house. You would prefer to dress up Barbies, but you also loved to play with your trains. You were always different. You were always Papa and Daddy's little boy. But that changed as you grew up. As you started to get older, I knew you weren't like others. I knew you were special. Were you just a boy trying to figure out how to fit into the world? Were you just a boy who loved dolls? Or who loved the colors, purple and pink? I didn't know you were trying to fit in with everyone. I didn't know it was hard to fit in. You stayed in your room. Were you trying to hide the identity from us? No. No. You never were trying to hide. But it was hard for you to come out. To come out as gay, and now to come out as transgender. When you told us, you seemed very confident. Your courage was unmistakable. You said to us, "Dads, I'm gay." But now, you said, "Dads, I'm a woman." You have always wanted to tell us, but it was hard to do so. My path was not easy getting here. You felt pain, but you stayed strong. With every pain you experienced, you got stronger and stronger. It won't always be easy, but we are there for you every step of the way. Your friends, Tomas, Quinlan, Miles, and Jerry are there for you. Shine bright, shine on. Never let your shine go away. You are a star. You are a light. You are Starlight.
As I leave the school, town, and people I have known forever, I'm blessed to have so much to be grateful for. Dad, thank you for showing me new music and teaching me to love the outdoors and movement. Thank you for reading so many of my papers and giving me the sometimes brutal, constructive criticism I needed. Thank you for your guidance and lessons that have shaped my character and made me confident and strong. Mom, thank you for navigating the painful moments of high school with me and telling me that it will get better, and it always has. Thank you for reminding me to be patient and to say I'm sorry even when I'm feeling too stubborn. Thank you for being the perfect balance of best friend and parent. Cora, thank you for going with me to every boring adult event. Thank you for making me feel so special, whether it's your surprise gift baskets, your thoughtful cards, or your unwavering love, support, and encouragement. I'm so grateful that I'll always have you by my side. Friends and classmates, all of you have contributed to my growth and happiness from the beginning, and I'm so glad to be able to reminisce on so many fun moments with you all. Teachers, thank you for sharing your passions with us and showing us that learning is actually fun. There are tons of people that have encouraged and inspired me that I didn't have time to mention, but thank you to everyone who's been a part of my life in the last 6 years as I figure myself and the world out day by day.
In a blanket of warmth. Like a pearl, this is where her body forms. I glisten in the cold ocean, waves crash above me, yet I am not scared. I embrace the motion. I belong to the sea. Waves break even on the ocean surface, clouds part in the sky. A storm is coming. I need to resurface. I wonder if it is my time to fly. Darkness encapsulates me, holding me in its grasp. I am unsure where I am or what I'll be. It is time to leave my home. It is time to become who I'm meant to be. It is time to enter the unknown. It is time to abandon the sea. Like a shiny white pearl, her body glimmers amongst the darkness. For the first time, she emerges into the world. This isn't the last time she'll experience the harshness that comes with being like a pearl.
It is spring in the maple. Two great horned owl eggs lie in the cold, snow-rimmed cavity in the broken top of the tree. They were warm to my touch, eggs in the snow. Now isn't that wonderful? I didn't stay long, for it was bitter weather, and I wanted the female to return immediately. I climbed down, and as I ran off toward the tree, I saw her drift on those muffled wings of the owl through the limbs and branches as she went back to her work. I crawled through the tunnel of ice that leads to my tree now, the wind beating at my back. I spent the evening whittling and thinking about the owl high in the forest with the new life of the spring.
You are not 15 or 12 or 17. You are 100 wild centuries. And 15, bringing with you, in every breath and in every step, everyone who has come before you, all the yous that you have been, the mothers of your mother, the fathers of your father. If someone in your family tree was trouble, 100 were not. The bad do not win, not finally. No matter how loud they are, we simply would not be here if that were so. You are made, fundamentally, from the good. With this knowledge, you never march alone. You are the breaking news of the century. You are the good who has come forward. Through it all, even if so many days feel otherwise. But think, when you as a child learned to speak, it's not that you didn't know words. It's that from the centuries you knew so many. And it's hard to choose the words that will be your own. From those centuries, we human beings bring with us the simple solutions and songs, the river bridges and star charts and song harmonies, all in service to a simple idea, that we can make a house called tomorrow. What we bring, finally, into the new day, every day, is ourselves. And that's all we need to start. That's everything we require to keep going. Look back only for as long as you must, then go forward into the history you will make. Be good, then better. Write books, cure disease, make us proud, make yourself proud. And those who came before you, when you hear thunder, hear it as their applause.
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start again? I sure felt that every minute I was stuck on schoolwork, wanting to restart because I know that I could have worked harder on that project, or knowing that the essay that I had written was not the best that I could have done. I felt stuck in stress and doubt, knowing that I hadn't shown my fullest potential through my work, which only made my brain hurt more than it already was. I felt guilty because I cheated on myself and took the easy way out, instead of challenging myself to show off my capabilities. I get lazy easily, and it's hard for me to pick myself back up and gain motivation again. Having my mom, my dad, teachers, and my friends there to help me, even when I didn't reach out for help. They helped me to get out of the hole that I dug myself into, a hole that consumed me into darkness, doubt, stress, and fear, became a world of color and possibilities. Everyone who supported me showed me how I can get out of that hole and how to find that spark of light again. I want to thank you all for showing me that I can show my worth. And as I move on to greater things, I'll take in what I've learned and shoot across the sky.
I was kind of at a loss for what I wanted to do or say for this, but while I was on the camping trip, I found myself reminded of this particular song called Cool by the French band Arcadian. I listened to it a lot last year when I was really scared about what was to come in the year ahead of me, and I think it does a good job of expressing what I want to tell both myself and the rest of the class currently. Apologies for the pronunciation in advance, but in French the lyrics are « Et bien que je cherche encore, même si je sais que j'ai tort, que je pleure quand le destin me mord, je l'entends encore. Elle me dit couvre ta vie avant qu'elle ne s'échappe avec tes envies. Elle me dit joue avec la pluie, même si elle te mouille, te trouveras un abri, which in English translates to, and although I'm still trying to find it, even if I know that I'm wrong, I cry when destiny bites me, I still hear her. She tells me run towards your life before it escapes with your desires. She tells me play with the rain, even if it soaks you, you will find shelter. Thank you.
On this day of all days is a day of great endings.
The start of new beginnings, many wishes to be sent.
We will say goodbye to great friendships and mentors alike.
Start to make new friendships and see life with new sight.
Our journey awaits us. We will take with us lessons learned.
And with each new day coming, new lessons will be earned.
Although it's time to move on, the memories we made will live on.
Like monarchs, our voyage will never end, but we must transcend.
Where it began, I can't begin to know when, but then I know it's going strong.
Was in the spring, and spring became the summer.
Who'd have believed you'd come along? Touching warm, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. So good. I feel inclined believe they never would.
We are glad we got to spend this part of the journey with you. Thank you.
And so for the last time, let's sing it.
Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. Sweet Caroline, I believe they never could.
And now the slideshow.
Popularity. What is it made of? How does a person get to be popular with lots of people and have a few close friends, too?
Made a wrong turn once or twice, dug my way out, blood and fire, bad decisions, that's alright. Welcome to my silly life. Mistreated, misplaced, misunderstood. No, it is all good. It didn't slow me down. Mistaken, always second guessing, underestimated. Look, I'm still around. Pretty, pretty, please don't you ever feel like you're less than perfect. Pretty, pretty, please don't you ever feel like you're nothing. You are perfect to me. You're so mean when you talk about yourself. You were wrong. Change the voices in your head. Make them like you instead. So complicated. Look how we all make it. It's filled with so much hatred. Such a tired game. It's enough. I've done all I can think of. Chased down all my demons. I've seen you do the same. Oh, pretty, pretty, please don't you ever feel like you're less than perfect. Pretty, pretty, please don't you ever feel like you're nothing. You are perfect. The whole world's scared, so I swallow the fear. The only thing I should be drinking is an ice cold beer. The pool in line. We try. We try so hard. It's a waste of my time. Looking for the critics cause they're everywhere. They don't like my jeans, they don't get my hair. Exchange ourselves, we do it all the time. Why do I do that? Why do we do that? Why do I... Yes, you're perfect. Oh, you're perfect to me. Pretty, pretty, please don't you ever feel like you're nothing. You are perfect to me.
I don't care if Monday's blue, Tuesday's grey and Wednesday too. Thursday, I don't care about you, it's Friday, I'm in love. Monday, you can fall apart. Tuesday, Wednesday, break my heart. Oh, Thursday doesn't even start, it's Friday, I'm in love. Saturday, wait. Sunday always comes too late. Friday never hesitate. I don't care if Monday's black. Tuesday, Wednesday hard to tell. Thursday never looking back. It's Friday, I'm in love. Monday you can hold your head. Tuesday, Wednesday stay in bed. On Thursday watch the walls instead. It's Friday.
Last night all I think about is you. Don't stop, baby, you come on too. Don't want, baby, think about you. You know that I'm never gonna lose.
Sometimes all I think about is you. Late nights in the middle of June. Heat waves been faking me out. Can't make you happier now. Sometimes all I think about is you. Late nights in the middle of June. Heat waves been faking me out. Can't make you happier now. Usually I put something on TV, so we never think about you and me. But today I see our reflections clearly in Hollywood, laying on the screen. You just need a better life than this. You need something I can never give. Fake water all across the road. It's gone now, the night is come. But sometimes all I think about is you. Late nights in the middle of June. Heat waves been faking me out. Can't make you happier now. You can't fight it, you can't breathe. You say something so loving, but now I gotta let you go. You'll be better off in someone new. I don't wanna be alone. You know it hurts me too. You look so broken when you cry. One more and then I say goodbye. Sometimes all I think about is you. Late nights in the middle of June. Heat waves been faking me out. Can't make you happier now. Sometimes all I think about is you. Late nights in the middle of June. Heat waves been faking me out. Can't make you happier now. I just wonder what you're dreaming of when you sleep and smile so comfortable. I just wish that I could give you that look that's perfectly unsaid. Sometimes all I think about is you. Late nights in the middle of June. Heat waves been faking me out. Heat waves been faking me out. Sometimes all I think about is you. Late nights in the middle of June. Heat waves been faking me out. Can't make you happier now. Sometimes all I think about is you. Late nights in the middle of
you a postcard from Paradise Falls.